Well, hello to all of you from around the world. I want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Soulivity Today. We're broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. My name is Wesley Johnson, and whether you're at home, driving, or even at work, we are always glad you're here with us. We have such a great show for you today. My co-host, Dr. Chanel DeGuzman, is going to be with us in just a second. She's an executive leadership coach, author, and a senior Soulivity contributor. We're going to be glad that she's here, but I wanted to start here. You know, I was on social media surfing the other day, and I found this video short of a young person, probably in her 20s, complaining about her life. Now, a few facts here. This young lady has a college degree. She has a full-time job that pays her more than 75% of Americans. She lives in a nice apartment alone without a roommate. She seemed to be dressed very nicely. Yet her complaints were about her thoughts at 26 that she would be making at least $300,000 by now, that she would be married and in a big, beautiful home. Now, of course, you can probably guess my reaction, right? But after a period of reflection, instead of going down the road that a lot of people do, and that is bashing this young person about unrealistic expectations, I decided that what I would do is I would go in the opposite direction and think, what would I say to this person that could be empowering, right? And so I came up with this idea that no matter what age you are, you're never too old to dream and manifest a great life. And that there are challenges that come with that pursuit that you must overcome, and that would make you stronger as a soul and an entrepreneur. So today we're going to feature 4 amazing people who had to overcome challenges to create their fantastic lives, and that they accomplish a lot of these things later in their life, not earlier in their life, later in their life. So that's even another aspect of this that we're going to be looking at today. So let's get started with all of this, because I'm really excited to share some of these stories with you. The first one is when I was building Soulivity, one of the businesses I looked at as a model was the Huffington Post. Now, this was before it was bought by AOL Time Warner a while ago. And I was amazed at what Arianna Huffington had created and how it was absolutely necessary for that time. So here's more on her from this great YouTube channel called Makers.
When I was growing up in Athens, my grandmother was always planning my wedding. And when I was 21 and not married, she kept saying to me, I don't understand why you're not married. You're not so ugly that you couldn't find a husband. My mother, though, used to say, your dowry is your education. I literally saw a picture in a magazine of Cambridge, and I said to her, I want to go there. And everybody else around me said, oh, don't be ridiculous, you barely speak English, you have no money. But my mother got some cheap tickets for us to go and see Cambridge, to make it real. It was a form of visualization. And it was like a miracle when I got in. I discovered the Cambridge Union, the university's famed debating society. 2000. But my accent was a huge impediment. When I started speaking, people would laugh, literally.
On Monday, there is a debate on the English legal system. The exact motion is the present English legal system is incompatible with justice.
But I kept going. I literally taught myself to speak at the union. I just loved going to the debates and listening to people's hearts and minds being moved by words.
Apprehending negative criticism that can be stimulating.
I was 22 at the time. I had not thought of writing a book. The main point of The Female Woman is that we needed to give all women equal respect for the choices they made. Nobody expected to do as well as he did, but suddenly I had all these offers to write more books. My third book, a biography of Maria Callas, turned out to be a success. So when I came to America, it was an easier transition than if I was coming here to do something new. In 1997, we got divorced. It was a hard moment for the children, understanding what that meant. Out of difficult experiences, out of challenging experiences, you learn so much. And I just wanted to get back to work. I learned so much out of the cauldron of these campaigns and being right at the center of American political life. I started writing a column, mostly on politics, but also on our culture.
Ariana Huffington, right over here.
And then I was asked to give my opinions all the time. But that's the nature of politics. They're trying to make a big deal out of nothing. Yeah. But it's no more about religion than the Unabomber was about the environmentalists. I don't think the problem is that the media is liberal. I think the problem is that the media is suffering from attention deficit disorder. And blogging became a new form of expression. And I loved how effective it was. Ever since I can remember, I loved starting conversations, just conversations about everything. And the longing for conversations propelled me to want to launch the Huffington Post, where people with something interesting to say can have a platform in which to say it. People from anywhere, well-known people, people nobody had heard of, and use the power of online media, use the power of the internet, which we're just beginning to understand. We got terrible reviews when we launched. One of them I've kind of learned by heart. The Huffington Post is an unsurvivable failure. But really the difference between failure and success is perseverance. After the first year, we started adding sections, and the traffic started growing. And so my dream started getting bigger, but we're still a startup. We signed the deal during the Super Bowl, and it's really been amazing. All the things that I had dreamed of, growing internationally, growing our sections, growing in video. We won our first Pulitzer. It's like seeing that third child grow beyond my wildest dreams. I have always been passionate about what is a good life, a meaningful life that makes a difference. And that involves leadership and the role of women in history and today. What I urge you to do is to lead the third women's revolution. The second women's revolution was powerfully led by Smith alumni, Betty Friedan and Gloria Steinem. We simply cannot wait any longer for the third revolution to begin. Having it all has to include a sense of peace and well-being and the ability to make a difference beyond our own lives. Women are leading the way in reimagining the workplace, reimagining success and the world at large. This is the time when we have to say, hey guys, this hasn't really worked. We need to change it. And if we change it, it's going to be better for women and better for men as well. You're going to be very grateful to us.
Isn't that cool? Ariana Huffington has always been one of those virtual mentors for me because I think she embodies the passion, purpose, and high quality living principles of Soulivity. Remember, through her story, there were challenges she had to overcome. I mean, even the Huffington Post, after she had launched it, there were a lot of critics who said that it was horrible and that it would never survive. Only maybe 10 years after she had started it, it gets bought out by one of the largest media organizations in the world for hundreds of millions of dollars. And then she was able to go on and found Thrive Global, her next venture, which is absolutely doing well. So again, you have to remember in your lives that you're never too old, that no dream is too small, and that you have to move forward. So listen, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll highlight one of my longtime heroes, renowned American photographer, Gordon Parks. Stay tuned. Don't miss the Institute of Noetic Science 19th International Conference.
The whole system's in the process of breaking down, but at the same time reconstructing itself. You can see all sorts of examples of people getting together in new kinds of communities with very different value emphasis. What we need is one fundamental global mind change, and all of the problems become much more solvable than they were before.
Introducing Beyond, a global mind change in action. Join us online for the first ever IONS virtual conference for 4 days of possibility, inspiration, and transformation. Discover cutting-edge science and practices to expand consciousness and human potential. Engage with visionary scientists, spiritual teachers, and innovators, along with thousands of noetic explorers in an immersive and easy-to-use digital platform. Experience one-on-one networking, roundtable discussions, concurrent sessions, an interactive exhibitor hall, and spaces to connect with members of the IONS global community. Join us as we come together to expand our awareness, transcend limitations, and manifest a world that supports all beings. Together, we can go beyond and embody a global mind change in action.
If we're going to survive as a civilization, we have to think beyond where we are at this moment.
For more information about ION's 19th International Conference, visit noetic.org/beyond now.
Are you a business owner looking to expand your reach and revenue to a perfect community? Being a Soulivity Today radio sponsor puts your business in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every week, and it's affordable too. For about the cost of a cup of coffee and snack each day, you can reach ideal people looking for your product or service. Our weekly 53-minute program airs on weekdays at 8:00 a.m. Eastern and Pacific times, with real conversations about the people, places, and topics that are part of our everyday life. A perfect opportunity for you. So click the link below and learn how you can expand your business marketplace today by becoming a Soulivity Today radio show sponsor. And for a limited time, special rates are being offered, so don't delay.
Have you ever asked the question, if I was to be anything, what would I be? Regardless of money, regardless of status, beyond popularity and fame. Living your passion, feeling your life has purpose. Soulivity is a space to nurture that which lives in all of us. A place where work can become play, and doing what we love creates the dreams of a lifetime.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity today as we highlight some of the inspiring individuals who found success after 40, proving it's not too late to chase your dreams. And so we want to move on to someone who is someone I wanted to highlight for a long time. This is a man, again, one of my heroes. A lot of these people are my heroes, and you'll get to know that over time as we go through today's show. And one of the reasons why this person is one of my heroes is I've always loved photographic art. And I love people like Ansel Adams, for instance, and the way that he took beautiful black and white photos of all of these different kinds of things that were mainly a lot of times inanimate, right? Like mountains and treescapes and stuff like that. Well, this person actually made art out of how he viewed his world and the people that were part of the world. And this was American photographer and composer Gordon Parks. Let's learn more about him right now.
We begin this half hour with the story of a man whose courageous photography helped awaken America at the dawn of the civil rights era. He was a master of portraying people from every walk of life. But for years, some of Gordon Parks' most important early work seemed lost. Now a new generation of Americans can see it for themselves.
In the summer of 1956, in the aftermath of the Montgomery bus boycotts, Life magazine sent a photographer to Alabama for an essay on segregation. The man who took these pictures, Gordon Parks, was Life's first black photographer who saw his camera as a weapon.
I see a poor child, distraught mother, something of that sort. It's not important at that particular moment that I express my feelings, but it's important that I let the world know what they are thinking and what they're going through. And so I become an instrument for them. And I think that's what the camera does in that instance. That sort, it serves a purpose.
In September of 1956, Life published 26 of Parks' photographs, and while he later exhibited some of the shots, the bulk of Parks' work from that assignment was thought to have been lost until a few years ago.
So this is the archive where all of Gordon Parks' works are kept.
When 6 years after his death, archivists for the Gordon Parks Foundation came upon this.
This is the box?
This is the box right here that the work was in.
It's wrapped in tape?
But inside, says the head of the foundation, Peter W. Kuhnhart Jr., were more than 200 color slides.
And see, if you look in the back here,
yeah,
Negro and white children playing together.
What does this one say?
Segregated Dairy Queen.
Mobile, Alabama.
Mm-hmm. This photograph of this classroom, which is just a black classroom, looks like something that you'd see in the 1800s. To think that this was 1956.
The foundation made prints. The photographs, many never seen before, are now on exhibition at the High Museum in Atlanta and at the foundation's new headquarters in Pleasantville, New York.
So this is Andrea Tanner and her granddaughter looking into a white clothing store. That's sort of the life that she doesn't have. And you know, Gordon really didn't stage these pictures. He would follow them around and sort of just observe what they were doing.
These are just pictures of life as it was happening.
Life as it was happening.
Images from an ordinary day in the segregated South. Children peering through a fence at a forbidden playground.
And this photograph is of the mailman.
This is the mailman?
This is the mailman right here.
In the pith helmet?
In the pith helmet. He is reading the mail to this couple because they're illiterate.
A woman and child outside an Alabama movie theater.
This photograph did not appear in Life magazine and turned out to be one of Gordon's most iconic civil rights photographs.
The woman in the picture, Joanne Wilson, went on to become a respected high school teacher of government and economics. In 2013, she was honored at the Gordon Parks Foundation's annual dinner.
I'm so proud of his work.
Joanne Wilson died the following year.
This is France.
In his lifetime, Gordon Parks became one of the world's most acclaimed photographers. He shot the beautiful, the gifted, the powerful, and the poor with equal empathy.
We get a little more detail.
As he told Sunday Morning in 1982,
I don't have time to just make pretty pictures. I would think that the stories that I did that touched people, touched lives, and helped lives would be the ones that I'd most want to be remembered by.
That assignment back in 1956 was particularly challenging because the white people in that neighborhood did not want them there, and in fact reacted very badly against the story and drove some of the people out of town. I think one of the things that's so striking about these images is so much of the civil rights movement came to us in black and white,
Right.
and to see these ordinary pictures in color, just it's like you're back in time, and it's so vivid.
It's so vivid, it's so compelling, and I think especially in this day and age where everyone has a cell phone camera, you can appreciate what a fine talent he was. In addition to the emotional impact of his photos, you just see the incredible eye that he had.
Yeah, and if you love the pictures, there's a great new book called Segregation Story that has them, Gordon Parks.
Gordon Parks, one of my heroes. Getting him a little emotional here, just watching that footage and seeing that man. I got a chance to meet Gordon Parks when I lived in Detroit many years ago when he was doing an exhibit at the Detroit Institute of Arts with his photographs. And he is everything that you saw in that video is exactly the man he was. And so thank you, Gordon Parks, for all that you do. And again, want to remind people, again, this is a person who came into his own later in his life and refused to let anything stop him, including people who did not want him in these neighborhoods to take pictures of people who people didn't know existed in pictures. So amazing man, amazing story. Listen, we're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we have another amazing person to highlight the phenomenal Vera Wang. So stay right there. Hi there, this is Brian with Soulivity.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by Soulivity. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by Soulivity is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoy the Aspire Academy by Soulivity today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life.
For more information about Aspire Academy by Soulivity, visit aspire.soulivity.com today.
Hello, we're back with more here on Soulivity today as we are highlighting some inspirational individuals who found success after 40. Again, proving it's not too late to chase your dreams. And with us now is Dr. Chanel DeGuzman, author and executive leadership coach. Chanel, so glad you're here with us this morning to talk about this, because I know that as an entrepreneur, as a person who does executive coaching, probably one of the things that you're always telling people is, listen, you got to have mentors in your life, either in person or virtual, because their stories are going to help keep you going, because you're going to come to some challenges and some obstacles. And sometimes you need some inspiration to get over those. Tell me really quickly, who's been some of your mentors in your life?
So surprisingly, they are in my close circle, meaning like at the University of Michigan, honestly, my number one champion is Loretta Thomas. She was the former VP of Human Resources for the entire university. And I had to be a junior at the University of Michigan. I had a class and I needed an internship. And at that time, she was the VP of HR of the hospital, of the medical system. And I wrote to her and I just said, will you allow me to be to come in and do an internship with you? And she said yes. And from then on, she opened so many doors for me. She not only modeled executive presence and power and decision-making, but then she also opened up doors. So she then had me assigned to her upper management. So I got direct access to her cabinet as an intern. And then I went on to, once I had kids and I came back to the university, she was the first person I reached out to. And again, she opened up doors. And not only that, Brian, she basically told me that I didn't have to accept. I knew I would come back and I would get the highest salary, top of the grade. But she said, you can even go above the salary grade that's posted. Even though they're going to offer you the max, you can even go above the max. Right. So she helped me just to reclaim my power. And then she continued to model because she kept advancing by becoming the VP of the entire University for Human Resources. So I give credit to her, Loretta Thomas. She's retired now and she continues to pour into my life. So I cannot stress the importance of just reaching out to somebody who inspires you, because if they inspire you, it's something that's inside of you that's attracted to what they have or the way that they're moving. And all you have to do, honestly, is reach out. And most people are so open to sharing because somebody helped them as well.
Yeah, thank you for that. I don't know what it is about this show today. It's like emotional. It's like deep for me because it's like these stories that we're telling today, as well as that story that you just told. Man, it really honors not only them, but it honors like the dream that we have that's inside of us, that wants to come out, that wants to emerge. And there's this thing that we keep telling ourselves a lot of times, like we're not worthy, or who am I to do this? All that negative self-talk. And so, that's why I wanted to do this show today, to kind of help people wash that away and move forward. It's kind of like the story I told early that set this all in motion, of this young lady who's at 26 is complaining about her life, even though she has all these great things in her life. And it's like, man, turn your focus on that, right? And if you have dreams of doing more, then, do the things that are necessary, but understand your life is not going to be quote unquote perfect. You're going to have challenges, obstacles, things to overcome, and you can do it and it'll make you stronger, but that's not going to happen like in a snap, right? And so you need these mentors, these people to be inspirations to help you move through this and to keep you grounded, right? Because your mentors are going to be like, no, that ain't the way it moves, right? Your dream is important.
Your mentors will. That's right, Brian. Your mentors will not only pull you aside, but one important thing about mentorship is that they can see something in you before you can truly not only see it, but own it. And so they're nurturing that potential inside of you that you just haven't harnessed yet. And that's another important thing about the value of mentorship. And then to any young lady or anybody who thinks where they are just is not getting it, it's just one step in front of the other. And the perspective is people would literally die to be in your footsteps, in your place.
Oh, man.
They would literally die to be, they would, oh my God,
yeah.
where you are and where other people are is just, they would just, can they get a little glimpse? And
just a little glimpse, a little slither. Again, this young person was probably making low hundreds, like 110, 120 at 26, but was complaining that she wasn't making 300,000. It's like, come on, keep your eye on this, on the prize here, and move forward with your life. One last thing on this before we get to our next highlight. Every person who I've used as a mentor, or who's mentored me, or the person that has mentored you, they are all about service. They're all about service. It is not about me. It's about what can I do for humanity and uplift humanity. And all of them have that in common, right? All of them have that in common, right?
And hands down. And that helps to perpetuate the service mindset, the service spirit, because again, they're modeling that for you. And so my mentor, Loretta Thomas, I mean, the service accolades that she has is just too numerous to even, describe. And she probably has a whole cabinet full of, awards and plaques. I guarantee you. So yeah, she is, to me, all about service. And then people will, you will get advanced and you will get promoted. You will increase your circle of influence as you are serving. It's all about service. I'm a part of an organization, and our motto is in friendship and in service.
Yes.
So constantly giving, because you've been given so much, Brian. You and I have been given so much. And so to be able to have the privilege to give and to serve is our reasonable duty, basically.
Amen to that. Listen, let's get to this next highlight, this person we want to highlight. And again, I kind of talked about her before we left our last segment on Gordon Parks. American fashion designer Vera Wang, right? Amazing person. There's stuff that she's doing that people don't even know about. She does a lot more than just fashion design. But her story included dreams long before she created this global brand that may surprise you. Let's learn more about her.
Yeah. Vera, how did you get started, and how did you get where you are today?
Well, I think that my fashion career was sort of a happy accident because I really wanted to be an Olympic skater, and I didn't make the team. And so after skating was over, my skating career was over, I had to find something else that I felt I had enough passion for. And fashion became that other passion for me. And so I went to work for Vogue magazine for almost 20 years as a senior fashion editor. And then after that, I went to work for Ralph Lauren. And I worked for Ralph as a design director. And then I started my own company at 40.
It's a tough road. I mean, I had dinner with Vera one night. It's a really tough road being a designer because, first of all, for what it takes, the amount of people involved in making just one of those gowns, I mean, there are only so many people in the world who can afford those really not ready to make, but those handmade design gowns, and you can only make so many of them. And then you have to price them so that you have to pay the person who is half gone blind, trying to beat them. So it is a really tough business, is it not?
Yes, it's, I think the perception of fashion is that it's extremely glamorous and that it's sort of frivolous and all of these things, but it really isn't. It's like a business like anything else, and you have to, pardon my pun, because I'm known for wedding, but you have to marry really your creativity with what's going on and what's real in terms of the market. And at the same time, I like to think that the things I do have respect for women. That's very, very important.
Things that I do have respect for women. Going back to service, y'all. Going back to service, right? Vera wanted to be I think she wanted to be an ice skater when she was starting out, and it did not work out that way. And so she had to dig deep and think about what she wanted to do with her life. And fashion was one of those things she wanted to do. And even then, it took her a long time to get to a point where she's able to launch a global brand and have success. And then even then that brought additional challenges. And she did this later in life. She did this much later in life. I think she started her brand like when she was like late 30s, 40s, something like that. And so, because that clip was from years ago, years and years ago. So what do you think about that, Chanel?
Well, it's inspiring, and it goes to show, you know, she put in the work, right? She was a senior fashion editor for 20 years. Then she went to work for Ralph. What is his name? Ralph
Lauren.
Lauren, thank you. So she paid her dues, and she put in the time. She put herself essentially under people who were already successful in the business to continue to learn, and then she launched her own business. So I think, you know, that's a really good reminder that success, I mean, now we know Vera Wang, right? We know her name,
Right.
we know her brand, but that brand just didn't come out of thin air. She put in the work,
Right.
and she put in years and decades to hone her craft and to generate and to develop her brand. So let's just remember that. And it comes to my mind, I don't know if you know the story about Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
You know, he started right over, I think, age 60, where he, you know, had an idea. He went around selling fried chicken out of his trunk. Ooh, you know, he would set up the fryer and he would go to gas stations and he would fry it, and people were just addicted. And then that
Right.
led to KFC. So, and he did that after he was of age, you know, I'm pretty sure it was over 60. So the bottom line is that whenever you start, you have to put in the time, and you have to, quote unquote, pay your dues. It's just not instant. It's just, that's what we see on the other side.
Yeah, right. I mean, and I guess, and that's again with this young lady in social media, and there's many other young like Gen Zers and stuff like that that are out here that have this false expectation that everything comes very quickly. Like they'll see, you know, the Kardashians and Paris Hilton and all these other people on social media, and they think that, oh, well, all they had to do was look cute and they got discovered. And
yeah,
and it doesn't work that way. Even with them, it didn't work that way, right? I mean, you're talking about people who were already famous before they got on social media. They were part of famous families, in the know families. And even then they had to work hard to get to where they are today. But that's the part that you don't see, right?
You don't get to.
And so here are these stories. So you got to do your homework. You got to look at, you know, what did it take these people to get to where they are today, as well as understanding that your road, if you're going down this road, is the road less traveled by a lot of people, and that road is going to be bumpy. It's going to have twists and turns. It's going to have hills to climb, valleys to get out of, and that's just part of what happens. And it's all designed to make you stronger. That's just at the bottom line. At the end of the day. At the end of the day. Great discussion
Brian,
today. I'm loving all this.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to just
Really quick.
go back to Loretta Thomas. So Loretta, even though she, in addition to her ending up as the VP of Human Resources for the entire University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, she was started as a clerk. So she started as a clerk, I believe, in the registrar's office, some 30 years prior. And so again, it goes to show it doesn't matter where you start. It's a matter of your commitment, getting great mentors, and keeping your eye on what it is that you want to do and the impact that you want to have. And forgive me if I'm not getting her title right. It may have been the VP over the entire University of Michigan, which includes other campuses, Flint and Dearborn as well. So that's what I wanted to say. And we just have to continue to pay your dues and not get short-sighted with the instant success. And also, you know what, Brian, what I also wanted to say was, it's lonely too. Let's not leave that out. When you say the road less traveled, the road less traveled means you're going to be walking some parts of that journey alone.
Yes.
And until you realize that and recognize that you're going to be somewhat separated from the pack at times, where you have to work like I do I worked on Mother's Day. I mean, I'll admit, my daughter ended up working. So then I went to my office, which is a half a block away from where she works. And after I dropped her off, I went to my office and I worked. So especially as an entrepreneur, you put in the time, but for things that are big, you sometimes walk alone.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that part. Because, we're both married. We have wonderful spouses, wonderful partners. And even with our partners, you can feel alone in this process because there's things that only you can do. This is your journey. They can support you. They can be your cheerleader, but it's still your work. It's your work to do. So maybe that's a whole nother show we got to talk about.
That's a whole nother show.
Listen, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, there's more of Soulivity Today, where we highlight our last person of the day, one of only 19 people achieving the EGOT status, having won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony Award. You don't want to miss this. Be right back.
Hi there, Sheila Applegate here with some exciting news. I've joined the incredible Soulivity team as the host of the new Consciously Awesome live show, where I will be sharing insights to help you discover your full brilliance and claim the vibrant life you deserve. So tune in every Wednesday right here on Soulivity TV to join the fun, and remember to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an awesome week, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Join us every weekday at 8 a.m. for Soulivity Today.
Whether you're just starting your day or on the road,
Soulivity Today will make your days better.
We will empower you with authentic conversation about the latest news and trending topics. Plus, you won't want to miss our interviews with industry experts.
So sit back, relax, and get ready for a whole lot of fun.
Soulivity Today, weekdays at 8 a.m. only on KMET 1490 AM radio and ABC News affiliate.
Are you ready to take that first step towards true, unwavering inner happiness? Are you like thousands of people who have everything they need, not want, but need, and still can't seem to find happiness and fulfillment in their lives? If so, the Steps to Happiness show is for you. On my show, you will learn about the principles and practices that lead to true inner happiness. Because guess what? It isn't found in our external environment, but within ourselves instead. Together with my guests, we will explore the latest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being practices. And together, we'll advise you on the actionable steps you can take towards a happier, more fulfilled, authentic life. So I invite you to join me each week on Soulivity TV on the Steps to Happiness show with me, Teresa Greco.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity Today as we highlight some inspiring individuals who found success after 40. proving it's never too late to chase your dreams. And back with us again is Dr. Chanel DeGuzman, author and executive leadership coach. Chanel, I am loving our last person for today. I mean, what can you say about a woman like Viola Davis, a person like Viola Davis, actually? I mean, her body of work tells a great story, from movies like The Help and The Woman King to her blockbuster TV series, How to Get Away with Murder. I mean, her presence is widely known. And as I said before the break, she is also one of only 19 people who have achieved the EGOT status. That's having won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony Award. But again, we were talking about like all these challenges that you have to go to get to success. Her success has also come with some really deep reflection and some healing. Here's more about that.
This now second Academy Award nomination,
absolutely.
with everybody rooting for you. Can you feel everybody really rooting for you? Really rooting for you?
I do feel people rooting for me. And you know what? All the hardships I've gone through in life, you know, I can appreciate life so much more because of that. To me, it was almost God's gift to give me the kind of life I was given. You know, I mean, I appreciate love. I appreciate friendships. I appreciate having a home. You know, I mean, I remember not having food. You know, so to me, the joys of life are so much, they're a lot simpler. They're a lot simpler than what other people would assume that they would be.
Has all of this, you were saying that after doubt, you went through a midlife crisis and had your own doubts. Has all of this, the journey, the help journey, finding your own voice through that and being able to be in this spot, us sitting here together now, has it brought a sense of wholeness?
Oh, absolutely. It has. Finally, it has. But I have to say that I suffered from low self-esteem for so long. I mean, really. I mean, it was so easy for someone to come into my life and just knock me off, even what little pedestal I was on. Very, very easy.
By calling you names?
By calling me names, or by even keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
Absolutely. Until I realized.
I used to have a lot of that with people saying, look, I don't feel this way, but let me tell you what other people say about you.
And I'm like, why would I want to know that?
Why would I want to know that? Yes. Yeah.
You know.
And so now, do you feel like you're fully riding, holding the space inside yourself?
Absolutely. And I have to tell you, the sobering moment, my husband always said when I first met him, he said, V, you haven't even lost a parent yet. I said, yeah, I know, but I said, I can't imagine it, Julius. He said, oh, Viola, whatever you imagine, it's much worse. He's like, you'll see. And when my father was passing, because it was really a short period of time, I think that started the ball rolling.
For your own?
Because you don't have time. You're on this earth for a dash of time, really. And then that's it. And for some reason, that reality and knowing that, it just changed everything. I felt like I don't have any time to stay up all night worrying about what someone who doesn't love me has to say about me.
Over what somebody said.
And here's a whole slew of people who love me that I'm devaluing. I'm not even spending any time with them, you know? And my mortality is staring me in the face. So my dad passing was, and one of the things he said before he passed was he looked at my niece, who is his granddaughter, and he said, granddaughter, I'm so happy that I'm still alive to see you graduate from high school. And it's such a simple thing, a simple dream, because she was the first person to graduate, first grandchild to graduate from high school. And it brought him so much joy while he was dying.
To see that.
And it's the simple joys in life that you carry on and you leave behind in this world. And like my husband and loving him and being able to experience marriage and experience being a mother. And even the people who've been inspired by watching me, that I can't throw that in the garbage can because someone comes along and says, you know what? I don't like your work.
There's a reason why I wanted that to be the last highlight. Because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Don't let anybody or anything rob you of your joy and your love and your self-worth. That's all part of this process, y'all. That's why you go through certain challenges and certain obstacles and that kind of things. Because you have to build up that, you got to build up that reserve, to build up that self-confidence and that self-esteem. And sometimes it takes things like a parent to pass to help wake you up to what your self-worth, and like she said, why am I letting these people who don't love me, don't care about me, direct my life when I've got all these other people around me that I'm devaluing because I've got my focus on nonsense, right? So yeah. Any final thoughts really quickly?
I was going to say, we definitely need to keep our eyes and our attention, our our gratitude towards those things that are most meaningful to our heart. And the external stuff, it's just there to propel you to be strong and to go on and do what you know you're supposed to do. It's just like a weight. It just helps us to get stronger. That's it. And we don't want to give any more power to it than that. So absolutely. I'm inspired by that clip. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, no. That listen, this is what it's all about, right? I mean, this is what it's all about. Listen, we're running out of time. Dr. Chanel, thank you so much for being here and sharing. I mean, you always bringing it home with us. Folks, Dr. Chanel is always doing complimentary coaching sessions for the next chapter of your life. You can reach her at 313-410-9909 today. Do that today so you can move into your better life. Listen, we're almost out of time. Just want to thank you guys for being here. And this is how we do it on Soulivity today. So watch us again tomorrow, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written consent.